Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. Welcome to English grade 11. Students, today we are going to cover another SLO from our unit number 3. I hope that you're attentive. And students on Zoom class, am I audible? Is my voice clear to you? Aima? All right, good. So students, this learning outcome is about writing a summary. We are doing this learning outcome that is based on the writing competency, as we always do. And after this lesson, we will be moving on to our next unit. So our learning outcome for today is to use summary skills to write an objective summary of the given text and poems. Now, we are familiar what is a summary. It is the shortened version of the text that we write. We can also summarize poems and other fictional or non-fictional texts. And the purpose here with this learning outcome is to present an objective summary. Yes, summaries are also of different types. We are talking about objective summary. We will see how it is different from a normal summary and how we can write one. Now, the second learning outcome which we have merged over here is to write a book review report. Whenever we are reading a book, now we want to share what we felt about the book. As a reader, we want to rate it, we want to review it. So we will see that how we can write a very good, effective book review, or you can call it book review report as well. So let's begin the lesson, students. I hope that you're attentive. You can get your notebooks and pens or pencils and note down the important details and steps that we are going to see. Now, first, let us talk about what is an objective summary. And we will move on to the next part, the next brainstorming session. Before we dive into the lesson, students, I want you to think about the time when you studied and written the summaries of different texts. What do you think is an objective summary? Students, here we mean that by objective, we mean that we do not include our opinions and our own likeness or dislikeness or beliefs. This makes it objective. Now, have you ever read any book review report? Now, book reviews are very much important in academic writing and understanding because we want to review books, either they are fictional or non-fictional. We will talk about what the book includes, about the author, different characters, and the most important is the main idea that is covering it. We can also rate the book according to different rating standards. Now, just to give you an idea, here, let's talk about summary skills. Yes, summarizing any lengthy passage, whether it's in the form of poetry or prose, is a very important skill that we need to learn. So, we need to elevate our summary skills. Let's see what is a summary, how we can define it. So, summary, my dear learners, it's a very shortened version of a text. Yes, it means that this is totally dependent upon the text. We cannot write summary if we don't have the original text or if we have not read it. We will shorten it and the whole text, the important details will be included and we will create a very short version of that text. Now, it can be fiction, it can be non-fiction, it can include your poetry, your prose, and all those different types of literature and text. It contains the main points in the text and is written in your own words. Now, the purpose of a summary is to point out and to present what is important in the text that is necessary to understand the whole of the text without reading it. This is for readers who just want a quick summary, or you can also say that summarizing is a part of your understanding, presenting how much you understood the main points of the text. So we will focus on the main points and we will write it in our own words because it shows our understanding and our comprehension. Obviously, we do not take the original passage as it is. Rather, we will take the understanding, the gist, or the crux, and then try to explain it in our own words. Now, let's read the rest of the details. This is a mixture of reducing a long text to a short text or into a condensed text and selecting only the relevant information. A good summary shows that you have understood the text. Yes. So now let's see how we can summarize it. Here, students, we have two kinds of summaries, the definitions. One is our objective summary and the other one is subjective summary. Now, the focus is on objective summary, but we will also learn how it is different. Now, objective means verifiable information based on facts and evidence. So it means that this kind of summary will not eradicate any of that information which is important. Facts should be included and evidence will also be included in the summary. Whereas, if we talk about subjective, subjective means information or perspectives based on feelings, opinions, or emotions. Now, focus on these three things: feelings, opinions, and emotions of the writer. Because this is subjective, it is talking about, it is actually varies person to person from one subject to the other. So the subject which the subjective summary includes your opinions, your understanding, whether you like the text or not. So we are clear about it. Now we want to see that what is an objective summary, how can we summarize any poem. An objective summary of a poem provides a concise and neutral overview of its main points and themes without incorporating or writing personal opinions or interpretations. Now, interpretation can go in your analysis, but for the objective summary, you do not interpret anything, try not to connect anything with anything, just give the main points and try to exclude yourself from the summary. This focuses on presenting the essential information in a straightforward manner. Only the essential information will be given. For example, if you are reading a poem and now you want to summarize it and include objectivity rather than your subjective opinions, then you will just narrate it as it is and just include the important information, avoid repetitions that is even there in the poem, and then you can create a very good objective summary. Now, when we are talking about writing, we know that we have to follow some structure. We have to take it step by step. And here we have some components, some parts that should be there in your objective summary. Now, let's see. There are these three main components of an objective summary, and they include the central idea or the main idea of the text or any document or any poem. We are talking about the text in general. So we will be talking about the central idea, the supporting details, the ideas which include the facts or details that support the central idea. We are only going to take those details which are supporting our central idea. This is our component number 2. And then the objective idea or the pure facts without anyone's opinion. Now, these are the three things that if you do not have it in your summary, then it would not be called an objective summary. You must include these three things: the central idea, the facts, including the details that are incorporating the facts, and then your objective the whole objective narration without any personal opinions and biases. Now here, students, this is a poem by Robert Frost. It's called Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. I hope that you have read it. If not, must read it. It's a very famous poem. Now, when we are reading it, then try to read it just don't include your subjective summary, just include your objectivity. Now here we will read this part and then this part. Whose words these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though, he will not see me stopping here to watch his words fill up with snow. My little horse must think it's queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. This is the whole poem by Robert Frost. It is very introspective, it has a very deep meaning, but when we are presenting objective summary, we are just going to focus on the surface of the text only. Now, here you can read this objective summary. I hope you can watch it on the screen. How do you write an objective summary? You can simply name the poem, give the title in Stopping by Words on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. The title, the poet is covered. The speaker pauses to observe a snow-covered forest. The speaker's horse seems confused by the stop. That why did they stop? As there are no nearby buildings. The quiet scene is peaceful with only the sound of the wind and falling snow. Although the words are attractive and serene, the speaker remembers their obligations and continues on their journey with a reminder of the responsibilities they must fulfill before resting. Now what did we do? We simply narrated this whole poem in the form of a story just as it is, not including our opinions, what we thought about it, not going into the deep analysis of the poem as we usually do in our summaries. So in this way, just in a very few lines, you can present the summary of the objective summary of this poem. If the text is larger, if you are having poem with numerous pages, then obviously the length of the objective summary will increase as there will be more main ideas and central ideas to cover and more facts to cover. Now, let's move on to our book review. Till now, since we are dealing with two learning outcomes, first we covered what is summary, what is objective versus subjective, and then we learned a poem, we read it, and then summarized it objectively. So till now, if you have any kind of issue or problem, anything that is bothering you, you can straight away ask. Yes, Aima, is everything clear?
Yes, sir.
So, did you get the point?
Yes.
All right. So, in this way, without including any opinions, whether you like the poem or not, whether it is a very good poem, it is deep, without going into all these details, just presenting the narration as it is, this will create a very good objective summary. Now, let's talk about book reviews. Now, review means that you're reading the text, you're reading the book, and you're going to present your understanding of the book academically and according to the genre that you're reading. Now, what does a book review includes? Your book review should have an introduction, the thesis, which includes the main idea, the main point, problems, solution of the problems, and the body, and also the conclusion. Now, book reviews are not tend to be very much longer. They can be somewhere in the middle. Now, the first thing is that you read the book thoroughly over and again till you have complete understanding of it. Whether you're reviewing a poetry collection, a poetry book, or it's a fiction, fantasy fiction, science fiction, or any kind of that book, even if it is a non-fiction book. First, you will have your introduction. Describe the book cover and title. Yes, we know that every book has has a cover which represents the mood, the genre, the title, the author, and all those important pieces of information. First, we will describe the book cover and title. We can talk about the title, why the title is the way it is, and is it justifying the content of the book that we are reading. Now, we will include any subtitles. If there's any subtitle right under the title, the main title at this stage. We will include the author's name as well. So the book, we will talk about book cover, the title, subtitle if there is any, and then the name of the author. Now, this will cover 2 or 3 lines of your book review. Then you will talk about the thesis. You will write a brief description of the novel or any text. Avoid mentioning any opinions at this time. Yes. Avoid mentioning, just describe the description of the book. What is the book about? What is the story about? And that's it. Next one, you will briefly introduce the main points of the body in your book review. The main points are added. Then we will move on to the body of your book review report. Use about 3 quotations from the author's novel. Since we are talking about fiction over here, if it is not fiction, then either way you can include 3 important major quotes. Now, these quotations, they should be such that they are representing the book, and they must be really important to mention. You will summarize the quotations in your own words. Then you will mention your own point of view of the quotation. What do you understand by the quote? For example, if you're reading To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee and you are quoting Atticus Finch, one of the main characters of the story, and try to then talk about what do you understand by it. Remember to keep every point included in its own paragraph. The book review will always and also be divided into different paragraphs. It should not have to be in one complete passage or one complete paragraph. You can break it down in different paragraphs, and then you will conclude your book review report. In very brief manner, you will summarize the quotations that you have mentioned. In brief, summarize the explanations, finish with a concluding sentence. This can include your final opinion of the book, and then optionally, you can give star ratings. You can rate the book out of uh, on the scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, or you can also rate the books using stars, like 5 stars or 10 stars. You have to mention what is your rating standard, what is your format of rating, or you can take up any running contemporary rating method of 5-star rating, and then you can rate the book. If you don't like it, maybe it's 2.5 out of 5 stars, maybe it's 4.5, or just 5 on 5. Now, the book review include the rating as well. So in this way, when you're reading any book, you will talk about it in your report, and that will be called your book review report. So now, we have a very good sample of book review that we have downloaded for you. Let's go over that and see how an actual book review looks like. Yes, as you can see over here, if we can zoom in now, Here you can see the title of the book is mentioned, then the author, you can mention the genre and introduction. The Midnight Garden by Emily Carter is a captivating fantasy novel. We have cleared the title, the author, and also the genre. This is a fantasy novel that transports readers into a world of magic and wonder. Now, you give a very comprehensive understanding, a very good crux of the novel. Then you will move on to your main body. You can call it summary as well, your analysis, and then the conclusion. And you can also include a paragraph telling whether you will recommend this book to other readers or not. So, whether you would recommend it or not, this is also part of your book review report. So, you can either write a simple book review or you can convert it in the structure of a report. Now, in this way, I hope that we are clear about it. Here you can watch this simulation link to learn more about writing book reviews in 2024. What are the norms and what are the new developments and trends or standards according to which you should be writing your book review. Students, for the worksheet that we have included over here, read any book on any online platform or in the print form. Answer the following questions and then fill up this worksheet. At the end, you can see you have to name 2 facts about the book. You can search it up, and this way you can complete a very good book review report. Thank you so much, students. I hope that today's learning outcomes about summary writing, objective summary writing, and also writing a book review is very much clear. Now it is up to you that you perform the tasks given to you, follow the worksheet, read a book, and then write a similar review as we have discussed. That should include the title, the author, the introduction with body and conclusion, your recommendations, and the rating as well. And take up any poem and then give an objective summary, write an objective summary and share with me in the WhatsApp group, or you can type it in the comment below if you're watching on YouTube. I hope, students, that the learning outcome is clear. If you have any kind of question, you can ask. Yes. Aima, are you clear about today's lesson?
Yes, sir.
So what did we understand? Can you give me a quick review?
Yes, sir. About summary, objective and subjective, and reviews.
And book review. All right. So you must perform the tasks that are assigned. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
अभी है? Yes. Chemistry 11 lecture is going to start very soon. All right. So you must join it.